Hi, and welcome to 30 Things You Didn't Know About History. In this video, I'll be sharing some of the most interesting and surprising facts from history that you may not have known.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Did you know that mammoths and pharaohs walked the earth at the same time? That's right, the last mammoths died out around 10,000 years ago, which is just a few thousand years after the first pharaohs ruled Egypt. The Roman Emperor Nero was a talented musician, but he was also a cruel and sadistic ruler. He once ordered the execution of his own mother, and he even set fire to Rome and blamed it on the Christians. The first Thanksgiving was celebrated in 1621 by the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe. The two groups had a feast to celebrate their successful harvest, and it is now a national holiday in the United States. The Wright brothers were the first people to fly an airplane. They made their first successful flight in 1903, and their invention revolutionized transportation and warfare. The Titanic was the largest ship in the world when it sank in 1912. Over 1,500 people died in the disaster, which is one of the deadliest maritime accidents in history. Albert Einstein was a brilliant physicist who developed the theory of relativity. His work has had a profound impact on our understanding of the universe, and he is considered one of the greatest scientists of all time. The Holocaust was a genocide in which Nazi Germany murdered 6 million Jews during World War II. It is one of the darkest chapters in human history. The United States landed a man on the moon in 1969. This was a major achievement that showed the world the power of human ingenuity. The Internet was invented in the 1960s by a group of scientists who were working on a way to share information between computers. It has since become an essential part of our lives, and it has revolutionized the way we communicate, work, and learn. The first cloned animal was a sheep named Dolly. She was born in 1996, and her birth showed that it was possible to create a living creature from a cell taken from another animal. The first person to ever use the word robot was a Czech writer named Karel Čapek. He used it in his 1920 play RUR, which stands for Rossum's Universal Robots. The first artificial satellite was launched by the Soviet Union in 1957. It was called Sputnik 1, and it weighed just 83.6 kilograms. The first person to ever set foot on the moon was Neil Armstrong. He did it on July 20, 1969, as part of the Apollo 11 mission. The first person to ever walk on Mars is likely to be a robot. NASA is currently working on a program called the Mars Exploration Program, which aims to send a robot to Mars in the early 2020s. The first person to ever live to be 150 years old is likely to be born in the next few decades. Thanks to advances in medicine and technology, people are living longer and healthier lives than ever before. The first person to ever travel at the speed of light is likely to be a computer program. Scientists are currently working on developing a computer program that can travel at the speed of light. The first person to ever colonize another planet is likely to be a human being. NASA is currently working on a program called the Artemis program, which aims to send humans to the moon by 2024. The first person to ever travel to another galaxy is likely to be a human being. NASA is currently working on a program called the James Webb Space Telescope, which is designed to look for signs of life in other galaxies. The first person to ever discover the secret to immortality is likely to be a scientist. Scientists are currently working on developing a cure for aging, which would effectively make people immortal. The first person to ever achieve world peace is likely to be a human being. There have been many attempts to achieve world peace throughout history, but none have been successful. The first person to ever use the wheel was a Sumerian potter named Gudea. He used it in 2500 BC to make pots. The first person to ever use gunpowder was a Chinese alchemist named Ding Du. He used it in 800 AD to make fireworks. The first person to ever use a compass was a Chinese admiral named Zheng He. He used it in 1421 to navigate his ships across the Indian Ocean. The first person to ever use a printing press was a German printer named Johannes Gutenberg. He used it in 1455 to print the Gutenberg Bible. The first person to ever use a camera was a French inventor named Joseph Nicephore Niepce. He used it in 1826 to take the first ever photograph. The first person to ever use a telephone was an American inventor named Alexander Graham Bell. He used it in 1876 to make the first ever telephone call. The first person to ever use a light bulb was an American inventor named Thomas Edison. He used it in 1879 to create the first ever light bulb that could be used in homes. The first person to ever use a radio was an Italian inventor named Guglielmo Marconi. He used it in 1895 to send the first ever radio signal. The first person to ever use a television was an American inventor named Philo Farnsworth. He used it in 1927 to broadcast the first ever television show. The first person to ever use a computer was an English mathematician named Alan Turing. He used it in 1943 to create the first ever computer that could solve complex mathematical problems. Well, that's it for this video.
I hope you learned something new about history.
If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more interesting facts about the world. Thanks for watching.